much to at least to some generations. I'm an 80s kid. I grew up in the 80s, and it was big, wasn't it? I mean, did you agree, guys? How many of you grew up reading the comics? Okay, that's good. Yeah, yeah. You know, I think Zoya will agree. I think Rima will agree. The thing about, and I think all of you will agree, the thing about, if you were a pre-globalization, you know, if you grew up in a pre-globalization India, it was aspirational. You don't have anything like that. The campus, pop dates, the burgers and the fries and the sodas, it all sort of, you know, it was all this sort of glamorous, a life that you kind of aspired to, you know, kids that dressed a certain way, spoke a certain way. And I think what the film does, I've watched the film, is I think really what Rima and Zoya have done so beautifully is sort of transpose what was on the page in those comic panels to the screen. It really is an immersive, transportive film. And I will admit, and I think a lot of you will as well, you know, I'm in my mid-40s, I don't remember the plot of every comic. I remember how those comics made me feel. And the film does that, it captures that, and I think that is just so beautiful, so more power. What I want to ask Zoya and Rima to begin with is, what did it mean to you growing up? What was Archies for you personally? And what was the pitch that sold you in doing the film?
Archies for me was my go-to escape. It was the only thing that I could relate to in terms of teenagers. I mean, I was an Enid Blyton fan as well, so I read Famous Five to a certain age, and Archie through my life. I don't remember ever not reading Archie comics. It was our portal to the West, I think.
Yeah.
It was a different lifestyle because at that time we didn't even really have any real television programming. Right. We had 2 hours on Sunday.
This is pre Bold and Beautiful, yeah. Pre Santa Barbara.
Pre everything, and it was also the only thing out there about teenagers. So as a 10-year-old or a 12-year-old, you just aspired to have that gang of friends and have that life. Honestly, I love it. I think it was just love, you know. And I wanted to put that feeling, like what you said, because the comics, they're episodic in nature. Now we are converting it into a 2-hour narrative. But that feeling that you get when you read that comic as a 12-year-old, I just wanted to transmit that feeling to someone that watches the film, you know? And there was an innocence, and I mean, of course, I'm looking at it now from the lens of someone in 2020 at that time, you know? But there was a lost innocence and a lost idealism and a naivety, and it was just wholesome at that time, and to bring that back. And I think also, that's also the reason why it connected with so many in India, you know? Because it was so innocent, the romances were innocent, the family dynamics were innocent. That, I wanted to capture that.
Right. So well. John and Sharad, if I could bring you in, why did it make sense to do this as an Indian film first? From what I understand, it's the first film version of
first feature film ever in Archie comics history.
Lovely.
And yeah, I have to tell you, it made sense because we had the brilliant Zoya and Rima and their vision, and of course the partnership with Sharad. It just all felt right. And of course, you know, Archie's history in India for 50 years, it's been such a wonderful part of our company that I just couldn't believe when I took over in 2009 how important India was to Archie. And I found out Archie to India, it was like a match made in heaven, right? So when Sharad and I first started talking, and he said, well, we should really consider doing like a movie in India. I was like, come on, man, that's not real. We're not really going to try to do this. And he's like, oh, yes, we are. So you know, that was the beginning of it all. And then, of course, Zoya and Rima, and then the cherry on top of the icing, Netflix. So it was just an amazing group of people coming together. And December 7th on Netflix, please watch. Sorry not to plug so blatantly, but you know, just being involved with, you know, the whole Netflix team, they've done an unbelievable job.